In my lifetime, Africa will become a superpower in wealth. Africa has the resources, the ability, and the people to grow into an economic superpower. It is the richest continent already in terms of natural resources. 30% of the world's cobalt, diamonds, gold, and iron are in Africa. Africa also has huge wealth in oil. Nigeria produces more than 2.5 million barrels of oil per day. Africa already has a booming pharmaceutical industry, and huge progress is being made in fighting back against disease and infections in African countries. More and more African children are going back into school and are being provided with education and improving hygiene practices. Africa is ideally located for global dominance in trade, with close trading connections to Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. The east coast of Africa has access to the Indian Ocean, which, with the ongoing rise of the Chinese and Indian economies, could become the new center of global trade.
We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched, but yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them, but yet they rose and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree, kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go. So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow black Americans, but is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting. See, us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a black president. And you know, we've done everything in our power to keep him from really changing things. Now we have another minority rising to the top, a white female. What does that say? Those of us who are white men who have been at the head are now starting to see and fear that we are going to become the tail. And we know what we've done to you. And so now we're fearful that you're going to do to us what we have done to you. But I will say this. I've lived in a black community for 23 years. I've never been treated the way that this country has treated my black Americans. So I call out my white Americans to say we better heed, repent, acknowledge, and change. Because if we don't, I just want to again say this.
Almost. Let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them. Black culture.
And it's even interesting, I mentioned it before, but like the black guy on TikTok, he was saying, he's like, y'all crazy. Like, you're talking about this person like it's mental health. He said, that ain't no mental health. That's a demon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people are seeing that. Like, this behavior is demonic. To walk up to a white girl.
Either, but yeah.
And to cut her throat.
Because she's white.
Because she's white, and be like, yeah, we got that white girl.
We got that white girl. And when you think about it, you look at that culture, and you say, what are the besetting sins and characteristics of it? And then you say, could somebody come in a lawful church membership embodying that culture? No. They have to self-consciously repudiate that
welcome
culture.
back, family. And we as Africans, you are not the one who are coming to explain this or address this to the world, but the people who are concerned are the one who are coming out to express this or to confirm this to the world as how they are viewing the things and the situation, how it's happening, how things are running, how today you can sit down and start to compare everything that's happening between Africa and European countries. Because for a long time, you know, Africa is the only place that have every resources, every kind of resource, anything that any person from any country or from any continent may need for them to be the superpower or to control the world, because all that anyone needs to control the world is in Africa. As long as you are the one controlling the resources of the world, automatically you become the superpower or the superior to the world. And the bad thing is that you know, all these things that some of the people are using to control the world are found in Africa, while the Africans themselves, they are in Africa, but for so many years, for so long, over decades, they have been living like they are not worthy, or they don't know the worthy of all that they are sitting on top of in their countries. So today I've shown you the videos and the clips of the white Americans who have come out and clearly expressed their feelings on how they're trying to view, according to the situations and according to the time, as how things are changing. Today, I believe that you have seen all that is happening today in the world. You have seen even everything is changing. Just the other day, I think still is happening, the AU summit, the UN summit. African leaders, this is the time they have gone, they have come out to express their feeling. This is the time they have come out to express all that they feel is being done to them, not how it's supposed to be. Because you see the organization like UN, ECOWAS, AU, all this organization was built to solve the problems of the world. When you go to the AU, they have their slogans, because their slogan says that they are there to solve disasters, to feed the hungry, to prevent disasters, and to help any disaster or any problem that may occur to any of the country which is their members. But how many people in Africa have died due to drought? How many people in Africa have died due to hunger? How many people in Africa have died due to terrorism and terror attacks, war and crisis? How many? And all these people have been died or have been killed with all these disasters, hunger, and all this because under the watch of this organization like UN. So where were they when all this was happening to the African countries? Where were they when terrorists was being over Africa? Where were they when the hunger and drought were killing people and animals in Africa? Yet when you go to UN, we have different departments. We have the security department, we have the peace department, we have every department that is there to help or to solve any problem that arise to any of the African countries or on any of the country which is under their membership. So we started to experience the rising of different Africans. That's when we started to experience like Captain Ibrahim Traore and other Sahel leaders. That's when we started to experience some of the leaders who have not joined this organization, or who have been going against the policies and the agreements of this organization. We have seen the great Pan-Africanists like Julius Malema, PLO Lumumba, and many more African leaders who are coming out to speak to the Africans, to expose the truth, to tell Africans this is not the way, but this is what we have to do, at least to make ourselves, to free ourselves from the hand of these people, because they have been using us for a very long time.
Freedom means that we must all be equal. And therefore the question should be, are we equal? If the answer is no, therefore there is no freedom. Freedom means equality, not only of gender, between black and white. And you need to ask the question, are black people and white people equal? If the answer is no, therefore there is no freedom.
This organization has been put there, but you as Africans or any African leader have no right to express his feelings. There is some things you don't allow, or you're not allowed to speak or to address to those meetings. So what is the interest? What was the main agenda of this organization to be built? We have seen many people coming out, and according to how they're speaking according to the situation that is happening today. You've seen today what's happening in America. You've seen today what's happening in France. You've seen today what is happening in Britain. Many people today, like Gen Zs, and mostly Gen Zs, have awakened up. People of different Africans and many the black nations are rising, and all that they are demanding is that they need freedom. They need freedom. They need to be independent. They need peace in their countries. So if some of the countries who were their colonizers are not able to provide this, all they need, like security or peace and all this, yet they're still coming to influence or to expose or to expose their influence in these countries. All that they are coming to do is they are after their minerals, they are after their richness, but they are not concerned about anything that is affecting the countries that they are going in. They are not concerned about anything that is affecting any countries that they have their relationship or their diplomatic relationship. So that's why today we have every reason to say that Africa, if we continue having this spirit, having these agendas and ideologies, if we continue having these aims, then I think it's not too long. But Africa is going to rise. Africa is going to overtake the European countries and become the superpower. Only if we can have the best leaders who are so concerned about the affairs of the African continent, but not being the agents or the puppets who are only there to submit to the foreigners, to work for them, and to make them, giving them more power, more authority, and more say to everything that they're having in their countries. This is the time I've seen Africans working together, speaking one voice, and supporting each other. Because for so long, you remember all that happened to the great Pan-Africans who were taken down, like Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, and Muammar Gaddafi, and many other leaders, Kwame Nkrumah. What were they committed? What was their crime? Their crime was that they tried to come out to fight for the African agendas. Their crime was that they decided to come out and take the hardest decision that they want to unite Africans. Their main crime was that they were going against the interest and the agreements that was signed by their former colonizers. And that time, the former colonizers would have not allowed those leaders to come and influence Africans, expose the truth, and maybe make Africans to feel that these people has been using them. They lived under the pressure of the system, under the tight rules, which recommended them not to engage with the black people or the people of the color until the time they have grown up to themselves and come to do the research to find the truth and the history of everything that happened. That's why today they're coming out to speak. That's why today some of them are coming to apologize to the people of the color for all that they have did against them. That's why today some of them are even moving out of their countries because they feel guilty of all that they have been committing against the people of the color.
Why I Stopped Being a Racist, Part 3, White Guilt and Forgiveness. One of the most challenging things on this journey of trying to deconstruct my own racism is learning to forgive myself. That is a very difficult thing to do for most anybody, especially when it's a burden that you carry around so heavy that you don't know how to break it down. Again, these are my thoughts, my experiences, and my opinions only. And while I can't tell you how to learn to forgive yourself for something because it's different for everybody, it's absolutely crucial if you want to grow.
So, the Africans today are not only the people who are fighting against the system, but the people of the system are still again fighting against their own system. We have seen the white people who are coming out to fight against the white system because they feel guilty of all that they have been doing against some people. It is said that you can hide the truth, but until the time, the truth itself will come to be discovered, will come to be exposed. So they have tried their best, but this time, the truth itself is coming to be exposed to the limelight. When you go today in America, America is a superpower. They have everything. They have every weapon. They have the manpower. But again, they have failed to control their people. They have failed to control their countries. Why? Because this is the time, and the time and time is speaking. When the right times come to anything, you cannot limit it. You cannot avoid it. You cannot avoid or stop anything that its time has come. So this is the time of the black people rising, and this is the time of the great empires falling. So they have no any other option to do to prevent all that's happened to their countries, because the time has come. The time has come where now the oppressor is falling and the oppressed is rising. So I've shown you the great videos of the white people who are coming out to testify of all that they feel is going to happen. I've shown you the videos of the white Gen Zs who are coming out and expose the truth and speak about how they feel, how they see the future of their countries. They feel the great erasure of their people. They feel like now the God of black people is trying to do something against their will, against their life, which they never expected maybe it will come to happen. But because it is something that was planned that one day it will come to happen, because the God of black people is now trying to fight back the battle of his people who have been mistreated for so long, who are enslaved, who are killed, who are raped, who are segregated for so long, having no voice to speak, having no one to defend them. That's why today many things which are so strange is happening to the white land. So Africa is rising, and no one will stop this to happen. No one will stop Africa from becoming the superior, from becoming the superpower, because the time has come. And once the time has come, there is nothing can stop this to happen. Just tell me to have the comment section. How do you feel this video? How do you feel about these issues? How do you feel about all that's happening today? Let's discuss the comment section. Tell me to have the comment section. If this is the first time to visit the channel, kindly subscribe so that we can be able to reach one another in one way or the other. As long as we are here to share our thoughts, share our ideas, we have to be together and speak one thing here and maybe share our thoughts and really know all that's happening across the globe. We as the black people, we are here to watch everything that's happening, and we are here to celebrate every step of our achievement, because we have been fight for this for so long. We have fighted, we have prayed, we have craved for this for so long, and now maybe it was late, but again, the time has come. Until next time, come and do the same. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for staying in. Don't forget to come back, because we are here each and every day at the same time, at the same place, and be blessed.